Right, how are we doing, everyone? Welcome to my latest vlog episode. It's Wednesday today, so I had that the Common Fosters out on Sunday morning, and I'm going to Romania next week to see a friend of mine and do a couple of days fishing. And I was itching to get out and have another crack for these fish up at the Horton complex. So I had a bit of work to do this morning, had a couple of meetings to go to, and then drove up to the lodge and sat in the lodge for a couple of hours just with my laptop, catching up on some work and all the boring stuff, and finished at about 2 o'clock. So at 2 o'clock I grabbed the bank creepers out the back of the van, grabbed Dave the carp dog, grabbed my rucksack, and went for a wander. And I went around Church Lake to start with, which is behind me over there. Did a full lap of church, and I was really looking forward to it, to be honest. I thought Wednesday is going to be quiet, but on K1 they've actually shut off the Dog Bay because the fish are spawning in there. So I think a lot of members have sort of moved off of K1. The water's started to clear up in Church as well, and I walked around the whole lake and it was busy, to be honest with you. Found some fish in one of the corners, but there was someone there fishing. I didn't see him to start with, to be honest. He was sort of tucked away behind a bush, and I sort of like crept down to the water's edge, and I actually pinged out a couple of mixers because they were milling around surface, and I just saw his head poke up from just around the corner of the bay. I was like, sorry mate, and sort of packed up my kit and made a quick exit. But yeah, so I came over onto the boat pool, and I baited a margin spot underneath the snags. I saw a few fish coming tight to the margins of these snags, and I baited this little spot that I've been baiting for the last month. And I thought they were going to start dropping on it and feeding, but they were moving really quick in mid-water, and to be honest with you, I think they're looking like they're sort of up for a bit of spawning. They're not ready to go for it yet, but they definitely didn't really have feeding on their mind. So I packed up from there and walked around to this bit, which is it's called the day swim. I don't know if you can see it there. It sort of goes down onto this platform, and then yeah, you've got this sort of like corner out here, over that way. And there were some fish. I put the Polaroids on, and straight away I could see quite a large group of fish, and some of them were good fish as well, just milling around under the surface, and they were sort of like coming in, tucking themselves into this corner there, and then coming back out again over a clear spot, and sort of milling around out in front of me. So I snuck a bait down on the clear spot and put a couple of little mesh bags of crumb boilies over the top of it as well, just enough to get a bite. Fishing a little tiny pop-up with a little tiny mesh bag of crumb boilie on it. But I was watching with the Polaroids on, and I could watch and the fish were just coming over the spot time and time again, and they weren't taking it. And someone must be putting some mixers out further up the lake, because the mixers were coming out in front of me at about 30 yards. And the fish were coming up and taking it, and one of them was a very, very good fish. It was one of the big girls in there. The problem with this swim is, I don't know if you can see it, where is it? It's like up there, this bit there, there's a big overhanging willow tree. You can't actually get a cast out, you can only sort of like underarm cast. So you can't float a fish out there. I've got my floater kit with me, but I couldn't actually get my controller out there. There's no way I can cast to where the fish were taken. So I hatched a little plan, and what I did is I put on a zig. So I put on a 6-foot zig, and again I wouldn't be able to overarm cast it, but I stood at the end of the platform, so right at the end there, and by laying the actual floating the zig on the surface, and then with a long drop and an underarm cast, I could do a really punch out a low underarm cast, and it meant that the zig followed it out there, and I can get it underneath this canopy. I can actually get it out to where the fish were feeding. So came up with a cunning plan. First time, whipped it out there, went straight underneath the branches, carried on for about 30 yards, put a little back lead on there as well, because I wanted the fish to be able to sort of mill around in this corner still. Set the alarm, and literally just stood up, and then the bobbin started going. Lifted into the fish, it took off. I wrapped my knuckles because I was on the back wind, probably did about a 30-yard run. Pretty epic battle, to be honest. It kited them round to my left-hand side, around the sort of corner towards the concrete, and weeded me up, and on zig kit and stuff like that. But I'm using I must admit, and this isn't a blatant plug here, but I've just moved over to the J Precision hooks, which are the hand sharpened ones, and the hook holds I've been getting have been unreal, absolutely unreal. Super sticky sharp hooks, and this one was nailed. There was no way it was getting off, right on the bottom lip, little zig hook. So yeah, I had that one. I've got some video footage of it as well. Not one of the big ones in here, 17.5 pound, but a beautiful fish, one of the stockies I think they put in a couple of years ago. So yeah, happy with that. Nice to have another result on the Horton complex from a little drop-in session. I flicked the zig back out there, and the shoal of big girls is still out there milling around, and they're not coming up for the mixes anymore. I don't know if they've been put off a little bit, but they're definitely milling around over the top of the Zig. So I've got about another 45 minutes, I reckon. So yeah, we shall see what happens. But there you go. Sometimes it's not all about these long sessions, it's just about being in the right place at the right time and actually just putting your fishing thinking head on, you know, and just trying to do something a little bit different, or not a little bit different from the other anglers, but just something that's going to get you the bite. You know, if they're not feeding on the spots, then try and find out where they are going to take a bait, or if they are going to take a bait, and if they're not going to take a bait, then move. You know, those fish that were over in that snag, you know, like I could have sat there all afternoon, but I don't think they were going to drop at all. And to be honest, I don't think the fish would have dropped down on the bottom bait in this swim all afternoon either. But as you put up in front of their faces, they just couldn't resist it. So there we go. Right, I'm going to sign off. Hopefully I get another bite. If I don't, catch you on the next vlog. Zig, yeah. Taking out this space, yeah, no, good one. It's out there though, unless you're lying under something else. Just swim around. Some more jumping on this net for me, lads. Cheers, mate. Yeah, don't mind. Yeah. Could be up with that. Well, there we go. Nice little opportunist mirror. Literally just flicked the Zig out there. I could see him milling around, but it weren't dropping on the spot. And flicked out a 5-foot Zig. And just as soon as I put the bobbin on, started going again. Gave up a pretty epic battle. Took me around the corner into the snags. Beautiful little fish.
Happy days.
Thank you.